Okay, welcome into the That's Good Sports podcast. I think if you say welcome in, it's like the lamest way to bring people into your podcast and immediately convince them to stop fucking listening. But I'm Brandon Perna here with Will Keys. This is a football podcast about football, which sometimes they trick you and they say it's about one thing and it's about something different. But today we're gonna go over all of the upcoming games for Sunday, literally every single football game. Josh Rosen officially going to start with the Dolphins this week, and they have signed Taco Charlton, who was just released by the Cowboys. So Dolphins-Cowboys, even though almost certainly will still be a blowout, could be interesting. Are you excited to see Josh Rosen get a chance to start and play some football this season, not going into a game where his team has already given up?
I mean, I think every time they take the field, they've already given up. So that's kind of tough. I can't believe how I can't think of a worse start to a career for a promising quarterback than Josh Rosen on the worst team in the NFL, bar none, his rookie season in Arizona, gets traded to the only team that might be worse. This is going to be potentially the worst team of the decade and maybe the worst team of all time. The Cleveland Browns, the year they went 0-16, were at least competitive in games. And the Lions, they went 0-16, 11 years ago now. They were I assume that they were more competitive. I can't really remember that far back.
Yeah, there were a handful of close games for the Lions that year, for sure. Yeah. It was like a question, could they actually go completely defeated? And the question for the Dolphins is there any chance they won't go completely defeated?
Exactly.
Which is crazy because I've never seen that happen in the NFL where this early you're like, oh, this team is tanking. Tanking's not a thing I feel like actually happens in the NFL.
No, and we're going to find out if it works or not. And I don't think it's going to.
No, I mean, it depends on what you classify as works, because if the Dolphins manage to get back to not last place in the AFC East, then is that a success?
No, because they've been mediocre / below average for the last 10 years, aside from 2 playoff appearances, and probably further than that. Honestly, it's probably been about 15 years since Jay Fiedler was on the team. Have they been anywhere near consistent? I think they have to. It has to be like a perennial playoff team for this to work, because they're going to be bad not just this year, but they're probably going to be bad next year too.
Yeah, I mean, they have to draft a franchise quarterback, right?
They have to, yeah.
And that's the only way they win. And I mean, they could probably win a couple games and still get the number 1 overall draft pick, and maybe
that's the thing, yeah.
Could have kept a couple players that would help them long term.
Exactly. So they traded Fitzpatrick to the Steelers for a first-round pick. Who knows where that pick's going to land, because the Steelers are 0-2 right now. But then again, you're actively making them a better team by giving them Minkah Fitzpatrick, the number 1 rated slot corner from last year as a rookie.
It's like you have more needs to fill than draft picks you're going to land on. Would be
right, because at this point they've got 3 first-round picks, I believe, next year. You don't know that you're going to hit on all of them, and you've got currently a need pretty much in every position group, starting with quarterback, onto wide receiver, to tight end, to now the offensive line, because
both their tackles are gone.
Laramie Tunsil's gone. Exactly.
Here's what's I think is going to hurt Miami, which just beyond the basic logic of this not working, it feels like now more than ever players in the NFL are taking control of where they want to go and play. So Minkah Fitzpatrick, easy example there. Jalen Ramsey trying to get out of Jacksonville now. My point is, if the Dolphins, for this to work, they're also going to have to do well in free agency. And
Right.
I'm not sure any player's going to want to come to Miami with a bit of the direction. It feels like, players are going with the trades, with the different holdouts we've seen and things like that. It's like they have to get a franchise quarterback, and then they have to prove that that's a place players want to go and play.
And here's the thing. They're dead set on getting Tua Tagovailoa, the Alabama quarterback. But here's another thing. He's only a junior. So he could see that the situation in Miami is currently, a train wreck. Obviously, you can tell that from a million miles away. But of course, he's going to keep an eye on it because he's the number one overall prospect,
right,
and they're the number one overall pick as it stands right now. So he could either go back to school and play another year at Alabama. He could sit out a year. Or he could pull an Eli Manning or a John Elway and say, I'm not going there. And to be honest, would anyone blame him for saying, I don't want to step into that situation? Because everybody feels bad for Josh Rosen right now.
What if Miami realizes, or he says that, and then Miami trades the number one overall pick to 2 or 3 for a team to take him and stockpile even more draft picks? Who's the other quarterback in this draft that could?
It's Justin Herbert from Oregon. He's going to be the second guy most likely. But the point of this was to get an elite quarterback.
Yeah, I know. And if the guy doesn't want to play, your only move is to get more draft picks.
Exactly. So do they have to suck 2 years in a row and then get Trevor Lawrence all of a sudden?
Yeah. The only thing that's going to save them is if Josh Rosen comes out and owns the Cowboys this weekend.
That's
and then goes on a streak.
They traded a second rounder for Josh Rosen, and he seems like a complete afterthought to them. But I'm glad he's starting now because they're going to figure it out, I guess. Although, how can you really tell,
I don't know.
How can you evaluate a quarterback in this situation? Either way. We've got games to talk about.
Well, yeah, let's jump into this game. Even though it's before Thursday, we'll flip-flop them because the Cowboys are 21.5-point favorites. They were before the Josh Rosen news. That may have changed. It doesn't fucking matter at that point. But Dak Prescott right now is playing the best football he's ever played. He's got 3 consecutive games with 3+ touchdowns and a 120+ passer rating. I saw Gil Brandt tweet that. Andrew Luck had 4 games like that last year, and Russell Wilson had 5 in 2015. So Dak is the only one with that current streak going on. And now the Cowboys are at home, and they're getting basically the team that everybody's going to consider like a bye.
Right.
As a 21.5 points isn't even the biggest spread this week. Just FYI.
No, that's another game we're going to talk about. The Cowboys are playing really, really well, but there's another caveat that they've played the Giants, the Redskins on the road, and now they're playing the Dolphins.
Right. So similar
are they playing really well, or are those teams playing really badly?
Similar to the Ravens.
Right. Yeah, well, the Ravens definitely will get a test this week, and we'll be able to tell.
Yeah.
But
Cowboys we're not going to know for another
not entirely
week.
Sure. Yeah, I think they're good. I think they're good, but I can't say that they're really, really good. I can't say they're a Super Bowl team right now because they haven't played anyone good.
Yeah, one of these teams is going to get they're going to get the Bronco treatment where they're winning all their games in September, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit. Cowboys, I do think, are a good team because they appear to have a good defense, a good offensive line, and then of course, your quarterback's playing well. You've got the skill positions. Usually, one of those teams gets exposed because their defense isn't that good. We find out once they play a good team, their offensive line or something's bad, and all of a sudden the quarterback play declines. I don't know if that'll happen with the Cowboys. After the Dolphins, then they play the Saints, who knows what the Saints will look like without Drew Brees.
Right.
Then they play the Packers. So October 6th, maybe that's when we get a first real good gauge of the Cowboys. For this game, though, would you put in the Dolphins have given up 103 points through 2 games?
Yeah, they've given up 59 and 43 points in their first 2 games.
Yeah,
I'm going to assume that's a record of some kind.
That's crazy.
Definitely a franchise record. Here's my thing on the Dolphins is they're taking it a little too far. I think they could have secured the number 1 spot comfortably without making the moves that they're making currently. I think trading Minkah Fitzpatrick was a huge mistake.
Yeah, I mean that's, I guess, tough if the player demands a trade.
Well, what are you gonna? Well, who cares? Then if he's gonna sit out, sit out. Like that's the best case scenario for the Dolphins if he just doesn't play, and you refuse to trade him because
right.
A,
well,
he's still on your team, and B, he's not making you better.
Yeah, but at least you get something for him. And I think, in fairness to Fitzpatrick, Minkah, not Ryan, it sounded like the Dolphins did not have a plan on how they should use him.
Right. Yeah, I understand that part of it.
I think it's just one of those situations where there's not a lot of good answers there.
No,
you might be right. Like, I'm not saying they should have definitely traded him.
Right, and they've got he's year 2 into a contract that includes a 5th-year option. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, maybe a better franchise would have sat down with him, let him vocalize his concerns, and reached like an agreement of how they could at least make him happy and give it a shot to make it work out.
Which I think that's still a possibility for Jalen Ramsey.
Right.
But I guess we'll talk about that when we get to the Jaguars game.
Yeah, well, I guess we're
going straight to that. Yeah,
we're both taking the Cowboys.
We're going to take the Cowboys.
Pretty safe.
We should also shout out the guy on Twitter who's been tracking.
Oh yeah.
Our picks. The first
at ya boy Big TP for tracking our win-loss totals. So far, Will leads the season 20-11-1 to my 17-14-1. We're both winners, though. Neither one of us are picking more losses than wins.
It's true, yeah.
But Will is ahead. So, okay. We've got Titans, Jaguars, Thursday Night Football. Titans, 1.5-point favorites. I saw this Jacksonville City produced video with Teal Man. The Jags are doing a Teal out tonight. And, of course, this will be the coming out party for my hero, Gardner Minshew.
I think everyone's hero at this point. He's America's hero.
Yeah. Once a porn company reaches out to you, which we covered very in-depthly yesterday in our video.
Yeah, check it out.
I think you become a superstar. And hopefully he takes that endorsement deal to sell penis puppet knitted accessories, penis accessories. I don't know if he will, but for $1 million, I think it would help his brand.
I mean,
it would be good for his brand.
That's a good offer for a 6th round draft pick.
Yeah, it's more than he's going to make playing this year.
Exactly.
And a lot less dangerous.
So you have to consider it, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, he would have to teach an exercise class once a week. That might be
So you're already working out.
Yeah. Can you do it at the team facility?
Probably, yeah. I can't see why they'd have a problem with that.
I don't know.
It's the Jaguars.
Yeah, I feel like they're the Bills, where they should be able to kind of get away with things other teams can't because their fan bases seem fairly cool.
Right. We're not talking about the New York Giants here. We're not
right.
talking about a storied franchise. This is their story, basically. This fits perfectly into their team image. I think, like we said in the video, I think he should agree to do this, and then they should rename their stadium Cam Soda Stadium.
Yeah. I mean, we've learned Florida stadiums are just up for bid by porn companies at this point.
Yeah. So why
might as
not?
well.
Why not cash in? And by the way, yeah, neither of us knew what Cam Soda was before.
Yeah, let's get that clear.
Yeah,
I didn't
know
know
what that was.
But they must be doing well. They must be doing well if they can offer Gardner $1 million.
Yeah. Please don't type the letter C into my web browser anytime soon.
Cam soda. Oh, I couldn't think of a funny one to go in between. Oh, this is what happens when you podcast when you're already tired. Anyway, I don't think Gardner's going to play well against the Titans defense on a short week, but I am going to be praying for that to happen. Also, this could be Jalen Ramsey's last game. We don't know.
It could be. We found out an NFL team asked the NFL if they traded for Jalen Ramsey, hypothetically, could he play on Thursday and on Sunday?
Yeah.
And the answer was no. Surprisingly.
Fucking dicks. If I'm Jalen, I try to find out what team that is and be like, I don't want to play for you. I admire your excitement.
Yeah. He said he didn't want to play for the Cowboys.
Ooh.
Which is shocking to me because
that's weird.
He's the Jones family.
Oh. Yeah, Jalen, he's got opinions, man. He has got opinions.
He's trashed every other quarterback in this league.
I know.
Imagine if he went to Buffalo. With all the shit he's talked about Josh Allen.
Do you think he's going to play better somewhere else? Do you think
no, not really.
Him playing in zone is the biggest issue for his decline in dominance?
I don't think so. I mean, it depends. It depends where he goes. Is he going to go to a team with a pass rush? Is he going to go to a team where we care and where we're paying attention?
Yeah, the other thing I read was Earl Thomas, a teammate of Earl Thomas, heard Earl Thomas talking to his agent on the phone about getting Jalen Ramsey to the Ravens, which I actually think
that would be pretty terrifying.
One of the best teams he could go and play for. They already have a good defense. Their offense could be legit top 3 offense this season. And I think there's like an established culture there too, where he would fit in. It's a respected, defense that playing with other good players already in the second. It's like what the Jags defense should still be, basically.
Exactly.
But I think that's one of the top places he could land. I know he really wants to go to Philadelphia. But this game, I think I'm going to take the Titans on the road, as much as that hurts me to pick against Gardner. I think they have a really good, solid defense. I mean, I don't know. Marcus Mariota's he's a toss-up, but I don't think Jags are really – they didn't look good last year, and they haven't looked great this year. Like, they're the team that's going to keep a lot of games close and then lose them. Unless Gardner turns out to be awesome.
I'm gonna take the Jags solely because they're at home. I think it helps a lot to be playing at home on a short week. And they played the Texans really tough last week. Gardner Minshew, by the way, he didn't put up a ton of points until the end of the game against Houston, but he's completing 78% of his passes, and it's not like he has a ton of attempts. He's averaging 8.4 yards per attempt, which is among the best in the league.
Yeah, and he can move. Like, I think he had I don't know, he made some plays with his legs. I don't know what his rushing yards were.
Right, yeah. That last drive against Houston was really impressive, and I like that they went for 2, but it was a bad play call, and they probably should have won that game.
Yeah, I mean, I mostly think the Titans should be a better team, so that's why I'm going with them. But
agreed.
I can't rely on either of those teams week to week.
No.
All right, let's go we got Lions at the Eagles. Philly is 6-point favorites despite having a lot of injury concerns right now. And the Lions, of course, are 1-0 and a tie, so 1-0-1.
Right. So like you said, this should be a pretty big opportunity for J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, the rookie wide receiver out of Stanford, to have a breakout. Nice breakout game. I would add him on fantasy. I already added him on fantasy in
Ooh.
both of my leagues, the That's Good Sports Patreon
The
league.
Patreon league.
Anyone that's listening that's in that league, I'm sorry. I already beat you to it.
Ooh. I'm 1-1 in both of those leagues.
25 points. Yeah, I'm 0-4 combined. That's not important though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, their healthy receivers are Whiteside, Nelson Aguilar, and Mac Hollins.
Right. Yeah.
We don't know.
Can't catch.
We don't know if Alshon Jeffrey or Deshaun Jackson will play, or if Dallas Goedert will play. So Zach
Doesn't
Ertz.
sound like Deshaun's going to play.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we'll say no on Deshaun. Zach Ertz, probably really smart fantasy start. He's got to be the number one target, you would assume, or the number one guy that Lions try to take out of the game.
Right.
Detroit still technically hasn't lost, so that is positive. Matthew Stafford played really good week 1, and then there were a couple picks last week. I was trying to get through the recap again of that game to see if all of the interceptions were his fault. I don't know for sure. Kerryon Johnson has been rushing the ball really well, but the Eagles have a really good defensive front. And if the Lions can't run the ball in this game, even with all those injuries to Philly, I don't know if I trust the Lions to get a win and stay out of the not being defeated column.
I mean, technically they are undefeated. What happens if you go 15-0-1? That's an undefeated season, right?
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Or like 14-0-2. That's undefeated.
2 ties.
Yeah, it's possible.
You just said the same thing but added another tie.
I know, but
Does 2 ties make 1 loss? Since it's like a half win, I don't know.
Or does it make 1 win?
Yeah, it's a chicken or the egg sort of thing.
Exactly.
Eagles are only giving up 42.5 rushing yards per game. So, Trey Flowers. The Lions haven't seen the production that they were hoping Matt Patricia could get out of him after convincing him to come over from New England. Eagles are 6-point favorites, even with all these. I'm going to take the Eagles in this game.
Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles too. I don't think Detroit got enough credit on defense for how they played against the Chargers. I mean, everyone wants to point to LA's injuries because for yet another year, they're the only team in the NFL that has sustained injuries on their roster.
Yeah.
They look good. Darius Slay was getting torched most of the game and then came back on the game's most important play and picked off Phillip Rivers.
Yeah,
so,
and I think Carson Wentz is better than Phillip Rivers. So
I agree with that. I agree wholeheartedly, although Detroit is going to lose this game as karma for releasing our good friend CJ.
Oh, yeah, CJ Anderson.
Yep.
Going a different direction in the run game. Yeah, did you see –
backwards is where they're going.
Did you see he tweeted something like weird shit happening like an hour before he got cut? I was like, what does this mean? Oh, I see what that means. That sucks. Okay, now we've got the 0-2 Jets at the 2-0 Patriots. And this is the biggest spread of the week. New England, 23-point favorites over the Jets.
Do we have to talk about this game?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Trevor Siemian had his leg torn off on Monday Night Football.
Tore some ligaments.
So we're getting Luke Falk in this game. Luke Falk is a 6th-round pick out of Washington State last year. This is his 2nd year. So we've got 2 6th-round Washington State quarterbacks playing this week. And I think that's significant, and I think that's a testament to Mike Leach. And what I'm saying is Mike Leach needs to be an NFL head coach.
Oh.
And run the air raid offense.
Run what?
Run the air raid offense.
Air raid offense.
I think he should be the coach of the Browns.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think he'd fit.
Is air raid? Is that what Lane Kiffin? Is that what Cliff Kingsbury's trying to run with Arizona? Some version of that?
Yeah, it's kind of the old Texas Tech. Well, I was Mike Leach too, but
was it?
yeah, it's kind of a Big 12 style of offense.
Okay.
Where you're throwing deep a lot with 4 or 5 wide receivers.
Gotcha. Well, here's the other interesting observation for this game. Luke Falk has some very similar stats as to one Tom Brady.
Let's hear it.
Both drafted at spot 199. Both age 24 at their first start. Both 6'4", both making their debut week 3, and both facing an NFL legend QB. Brady played against Manning in his first game.
Wait,
CBS?
Who's the NFL legend?
Well, that would have to be Tom Brady in this scenario, which I would never say. But this is from CBS Sports. I saw on Twitter. Very, very interesting stats though. And what had to happen?
Well, he's playing Stephon Gilmore. That's an NFL legend.
There you go.
Yeah.
And for that to happen, Sam Darnold had to get mono, and Trevor Siemian had to tear ligaments in his foot. So,
yeah. His foot was crazy. Eaten by a pack of wolves. A lot had to happen for this to come about. I don't think they're going to win. I'll put it out there.
Nope.
The Patriots in that game, the Patriots blew out the Colts.
Did they?
Back when the Colts were still in the AFC East.
Dang.
Back in 2001. They were 0-2 at that time as well. The Jets are 0-2.
Ooh, wow.
And for that reason, I'm taking the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Patriots with their 23-point spread. This game might be a little bit interesting because Jamal Adams was a little bit pissed off about his $21,000 fine for his hit on Baker Mayfield, and then he tweeted the video and said this league is a damn joke. I got fined for this hit. I signed up to play football, not two-hand touch. Bullshit! I don't give a damn about these soft rules protecting quarterbacks. I'm going to play my, all capital, brand of football every time I step on the field, shaking my head. So
is that a quote from Jamal Adams or Garrett Bolles?
I don't know.
It could go either way.
I am hoping Jamal stays true to what he says.
Yeah.
And applies that anger towards Tom Brady.
And, yeah, by the way, Dolphins linebacker Raekwon McMillan was told to get off of Tom Brady.
Yeah.
In that 43-0 game last week.
For a legal hit. Said,
right.
Hey, don't be hitting our quarterbacks.
Apparently that applies to Mitch Trubisky, too. Another NFL legend. Who's our status of the NFL legend. So, yeah, I think we're
both with the patch there.
Right.
Okay.
We got to talk about Bengals at Bills. I think we skipped over that one.
Did we? Oh, shit, we did. Good Lord. Okay, yeah, Bengals 0-2 versus the undefeated Buffalo Bills, the only team in the AFC East who may be able to put the heat on the Patriots. Bills, 6-point favorites. Interesting stat I found, Andy Dalton has the second most passing yards behind only Pat Mahomes, and John Ross leads the league in receiving yards. So that's in 2 losses. Really what that says is the Bengals are probably trying to throw the ball a lot to get back into the game, and they're still not winning.
Right, yeah, their defense got torched by San Francisco last week.
Yeah.
500 yards, 40-plus points. They can't stop the run game. I still, for some reason, I'm taking the Bengals because my only reasoning here is they always seem to win exactly when you count them out, and they've been counted out. And I think this feels like a classic Bengals upset going into Buffalo, a team that we're not quite sure about. Everyone wants to hop on, and we haven't quite seen it because they played the Jets and the Giants. I think they're going to steal one.
Yeah, Bills, we don't know. I mean, their offense is still a huge question mark.
Their defense has been playing tremendously, though.
Yeah, the Bills have a good defense. That's what will save them in this game.
Yeah, Ed Oliver's been one of the best defensive rookie players this far. Probably the best.
Yeah, and like you wrote down here, Joe Mixon, 17 carries for 27 yards. So the Bengals haven't, got a run game going. You have to
assume that's going to turn around eventually.
They have to do that against Buffalo, I think, to have a chance. I agree with your logic, because I'm not completely sold on Buffalo yet, but I'm going to pick the Bills.
Because you got to gain ground.
I got to gain some ground. And I'm going to stay loyal to the Buffalo Bills fans. They have been very kind to me.
Oh, they're good fans. No one's denying that whatsoever.
No. Okay.
Here's a good game I'm excited about.
Tell me.
The Atlanta Falcons.
That was a hell of a game between the Falcons and Eagles.
It was. I'm glad we got a good Sunday night game because we might not get one this week. Falcons at Colts.
Yeah, this is cool.
And he's favored by 1.5.
Yeah, they're at home, so that's kind of like a default there. It's weird because I want both of these teams to be successful. Like,
I do too.
I like the storylines here. I'm rooting for Jacoby Brissett to play well. He was wearing a knee brace though today. Wearing a knee brace, knee issue on the injury report. The Colts let Chad Kelly go, which I think was stupid.
A mistake.
Makes me want to root for them a little bit less. But I like Jacoby Brissett. But I also like Matt Ryan. I like that. I like the Falcons' offense, and the stat that surprised me from this was that Calvin Ridley currently leading the team in receiving yards with 130, and he's got 3 touchdowns on the season. Oh wait, sorry, that's no. Those are T.Y. Hilton stats. Ridley does have more receiving yards than Julio Jones. So my point was T.Y. Hilton still playing really good football without Andrew Luck.
Just fair. I mean, he played great football the year that Luck was out.
Yeah,
2017.
I think it says a lot more about a wide receiver when he is able to put up consistent numbers with different starting quarterbacks.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think you have to start talking about T.Y. Hilton as a Hall of Famer.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah,
I think that's fair at this point.
T.Y.
If he continues on this trajectory.
Yeah, I mean, he's always just been a fun player to watch. And Marlon Mack, I found also he's missed practice this week with the calf injury. So it's like we should probably do these podcasts on Saturday when we know the final injury reports, because if he doesn't play, I think it's kind of a huge blow to the Colts offense. And I like Naheem Hines behind him, but I think Indy has to run well against Atlanta. What was the other thing I found from this? I didn't write it down, but I thought I saw something about the Falcons secondary. Oh yeah, no, there it is. They're giving up the fewest passing yards in the league right now.
Pretty good.
Which after last season,
that had to do with Kirk Cousins throwing the ball 10 times for 98 yards.
In a win. That's what's great about all of these stats, though, right now. Every stat is based off of 2
misleading.
games,
but
it's still fun to just like throw it out there, like it represents
like it matters.
Exactly what the teams are.
Here's a stat that I found interesting. This is the 3rd straight indoor game for the Falcons. And they're not playing outdoors until week 11 at Carolina.
That's kind of crazy.
I think that's a huge advantage for them.
Yeah, I mean, they're a dome team, bro.
They are. They're built to succeed in a dome. And that's where they're playing most of the year.
Yeah.
So good for them.
Oh, was it? Didn't Darius Leonard get hurt in that last game?
He Yeah, I think so.
Oh, he's in the concussion protocol. So that is definitely something to monitor for the Colts.
Something to watch.
Here's the thing. I think last week I said because I picked the Falcons to win week 1, and then they didn't look good against Minnesota. And I was like, okay, well, maybe last year wasn't a mistake and they're bad. And then they beat the Eagles in a crazy close game. And now they got to play a pretty good Colts team. So I'm going to go back onto the Falcons bandwagon and say they get this win on the road and that they are going to turn it around and be a pretty competitive football team. But I'm also the type of guy who just basically makes all my picks off of exactly what I saw the week before.
That's fair. I'm still taking the Colts. I think it's going to be a fairly well, it's their first. It's their home opener. I think that's what.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's their first home game without Andrew Luck.
That could be a difference maker. Do you think Chad Kelly's going to get a chance somewhere else?
I hope so.
Is there a reason?
Start a few games in Miami.
Yeah, he could end up in Miami. He would.
Although that's not where we want him to go.
That's not where you want him to go, but that's probably like the perfect place. He can just go
maybe.
And maybe play like.
Why not the Jets? Why not the Jets right now?
Well, they've got the next Tom Brady. That's why.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out after this week.
We'll keep our eye on old Swag Kelly.
If he doesn't win 6 Super Bowls by this time next week, I think Chad Kelly's got to step in for Luke Falk.
Ooh, okay. It's a big task, but maybe they can do it.
They can.
Raiders at Vikings. Vikings 9-point favorites. Both teams are 1-1. This is the first road game for the Raiders. Minnesota tied for second in rushing yards, but Oakland allowing just 63 rush yards per game. Well,
yeah, give me the Vikings. That Antonio Brown energy lasted them exactly 5 quarters.
Yeah,
and then it blew up in their face.
I'm working on the Broncos Packers game. I'm getting discouraged about the Broncos based on what the Raiders did to them week 1.
I'm still chalking that up as they were the most galvanized team in history.
Yeah, maybe. The Chiefs got them.
They also match up really well against the Broncos. I think that's something that gets forgotten about.
Yeah, I guess we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so you asked how much is Kirk Cousins holding this team back, if at all?
Yeah, what do you think?
I don't know anymore on Kirk Cousins.
He is a good quarterback. He's just not worth what they paid him.
Yeah, I guess let's see what they do against the Raiders and maybe try to talk more about Cousins next week.
Well, it's not a very good team, so Kirk Cousins is going to win.
Yeah, they should win, but I feel like he needs to have like a 300-yard passing game or like 250.
I mean, the offense is built for him to not have a 300-yard passing game. That's the last thing they want, I think.
I don't think that's true with what kind of weapons he has, though. Dalvin Cook is your best player on offense right now.
Yeah.
But with Diggs and Thielen and Kyle Rudolph, like I feel like a good quarterback there, regardless of what your plan is as an offense, you're gonna throw well, or you should be throwing the ball well. And even if it's not 300 every game, it should be like 250, and you get 3 touchdown passes or something.
Efficient. They want him to be efficient, and if he throws 20 times for 8 yards an attempt, that's probably their goal.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I don't
last
think
week
they care how they score touchdowns, but
he dropped from 80% completion to 43. And I think he only threw because week 1 he threw 10 times, and I think he threw 32 times last week, which 32 passing attempts is about right. But he also threw 2 interceptions. Let's see what he does against the Raiders.
Okay.
who are also in play for Jalen Ramsey because he said he wants to play in Las Vegas. So
Oh, yeah, sure. Why not? Give
whatever.
him Jalen Ramsey. Do they have a first-round pick?
Oakland?
Yeah.
I
Wait,
don't
no, I
know.
mean, of course they have one. Yeah, they might have two, right, from the Khalil Mack trade?
Yeah, who the fuck knows?
Yeah,
I
sure, why
mean,
not?
obviously it's an easy thing for us to find, but
No. That's for
this,
you, the listener, to find
you
out.
should already know. All
Yeah.
right, game of the week: Ravens at Chiefs, and the Chiefs are 6.5-point favorites at home.
The game of the week. The Ravens' only regular season loss with Lamar Jackson as their quarterback was against the Chiefs, again in Kansas City. It was the game where Patrick Mahomes did the no-look pass, and then everyone lost their shit. And then he tried it again this year and missed Travis Kelce by about 5 yards.
Well, he did it when he didn't even fucking have to.
I know. That's some cocky bullshit.
That is, you don't want to see that.
No.
I
Ravens
mean,
are playing really, really well, though.
yeah, this is, I don't know, man. This is going to answer some questions for the Ravens mostly. Because I think we already know who the Chiefs are and who they're going to be this season based on what they did last year. And it seems like their offense is going to carry them regardless.
Yeah.
We don't know if the Ravens offense is going to carry them week to week. But I would say I would be willing to bet that the Ravens have a better overall team than the Chiefs because I think the Ravens defense is quite a bit better than Kansas City's.
Oh, agreed. Yeah, they kind of mirror each other in a certain way because they're not really built on the running games. Well, I mean, the Ravens are built on the running game. They've just got a different style of running game. They've both got these speedy receivers in Hollywood Brown and Tyreek Hill. The only difference is Tyreek Hill's out, and it's Mecole Hardman that's
right
taking his spot. And the question is, like, the Raiders couldn't slow them down without Tyreek Hill, but maybe the Ravens know how to take advantage of that better than the Raiders because they're not the Raiders.
Yeah, I would imagine that the Ravens have a much better defensive game plan than the Raiders. Also, the Ravens are giving up 20.5 rush yards per game, which is a really great stat after 2 games. And I don't think the Chiefs have to run against Baltimore. Like, that's the thing. But if they want to, I think that's an uphill battle for Kansas City. Chiefs.
We don't know. It sounds like both Damian Williams and LaShawn McCoy are a little banged up. Yeah, so it's going to be Darwin Thompson.
Yeah, so they're probably not going to lean on that.
Pickup.
The difference is the Ravens are leading the NFL in rushing yards per game with 223.5. And that's because like last week, they can get a $120 out of Lamar Jackson. And Mark Ingram has fit perfectly there. So that's when I'm looking at these teams, the Ravens can rush the ball. They appear to be able to throw the ball. Kansas City's not great at defending the pass. And the Ravens have a better defense.
Defending anything, really.
After 2 games, I feel like the Ravens are a better football team, and I'm going to pick them to win this game.
Again, like, I think these teams mirror each other in a little bit. In a way, they've got young quarterbacks that are hitting their stride. They've got these big play wide receivers, and they've got really good tight ends. Mark Andrews seems like he's going to be an 1,000-yard guy so far. He's gone over 100 yards and scored a touchdown in each of the first 2 games this season. He looks like the real deal. They've got a trillion tight ends in Baltimore. They spent a first-rounder on Hayden Hurst, who is not even the best tight end on their team now. But they found one in Mark Andrews. I don't know why he was drafted before him because he looked great when he played at Oklahoma with Baker Mayfield. But that's how it goes, and I'm taking the Chiefs.
Ooh.
I know. I don't want to.
Well, I think we know for certain that Patrick Mahomes is a good quarterback. And we are, I think.
We'll wait and see.
And, I mean, the only thing Lamar Jackson has going against him right now is he hasn't done what he's done through the air to a
good defense.
A good defense. And I say that as somebody who, watching him, he is throwing the ball well. He is making impressive throws.
Yeah.
So it's like route. He should be able to make those throws against a good defense as well. But they're like other nuanced things that can happen during a game when you're playing a better defense that can affect you as a quarterback. So it's just as much as I want to just be like, yeah, Lamar Jackson's legit. He's going to be great for a really long time. We just have to see a little more from him.
Yeah, he played a really, really just an abominable secondary in Arizona last week. Not that the Dolphins were any better the week before, but that was when they still had Minka Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, so this will be a step up, and I still don't like KC's defense. But all right, we've got different picks. I'm going Ravens. You're going Chiefs. Then we have Broncos 0-2 at the Packers 2-0. Packers are 7.5-point favorites at home.
Yeah, so we're getting Todd Davis back. Don't know about Bryce Callahan. I guess all you can say right now is, because we're writing the preview on this, is if you want to point to something good for the Broncos, it's that Vic Fangio knows how to defend the Packers to some extent.
Yeah.
He coached against them twice a year for whatever the last 5 years or so.
And he coached a good game against the Bears offense, I would say.
Yeah, he did. He did. So we'll see if that translates. Obviously, they have a different offense than they did the last time they faced each other. And that offense, it hasn't really clicked so far.
No, the Packers, not yet. I mean, it looked like it was going to against Minnesota because they scored 21 points by the very first part of the second quarter, but then
that slowed down
too much after it. So, yeah, we're waiting to see that offense develop still. It's a work in progress. And it's just I just feel like this is a bad game for the Broncos to have to play week 3.
Yeah, okay.
On
Another
the road.
thing I'm gonna hang my hat on is it's a horrible place to play. But I was talking about how the Raiders were galvanized in week 1. Do you think there's a chance that – because Elway he gave this I'm not really sure what it is, but he gave some kind of talk today. And one of the things he was asked about the ref and the passer call. It wasn't a press conference. It was a business talk of some sort. And he said that a league official told him essentially that they fucked up the call. In those words, too. Yeah. He was like, I'm sorry, we fucked that up. We fucked it up the ass. And that's why you lost. Do you think maybe this team takes that energy from being pissed off and wronged and screwed out of a win? Because we're not being homers when we say that they were screwed out of a win last week. Yeah,
it's one of the bigger screw jobs I can remember for a Broncos game.
Yeah. I mean, maybe ever.
Yeah, the only other game I remember is a screw job that worked in the Broncos' favor when they blew the Jay Cutler fumble dead against the Chargers. And that was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
This game, I feel like I will remember for a long time as the Broncos getting the raw end of the stick that was shoved up their ass.
Yeah, exactly. So either that can demoralize the team or it can give them a lot of fuck you energy. And I think there's a chance they could come out with that.
They got to play with that fuck you energy. I like that.
Essentially.
Well, they do. Well, man, it's hard. I don't have a good read on the Broncos team still. And there are issues there. I don't know how good the Broncos offense can be or ever will be. They're still struggling to score points, but it feels like there's a chance that they can be better. It feels like there are things like in motion building for the offense.
Right.
And the hard part, the thing like I guess I kind of wanted to talk about is the Broncos pass rush is getting ripped to shreds and also defended, I feel, too much. And
they should be better, and they're also the victim of
unusual circumstances or whatever you want to say. Yeah, so both are true. Like, both are true. And to the people like defending the Broncos defense, not getting a pass rush, I feel like a good defense would, like a really good defense would overcome those situations, even for just a couple extra plays a game, even one hit on a quarterback.
Well, the one hit they did get on the quarterback was called for roughing the passer.
And that's true. And that's you have to keep that in mind when thinking about that, where probably the most important play of the game came at the most important time by the position group that's getting criticized the most. So
yeah, and Aaron Rodgers is really good at not getting sacked, and he's also pretty inaccurate in the short game. So I think they're going to do the same thing that that the last two teams had done. But eventually, this pass rush is going to break out.
Well, I mean, Rodgers has been sacked 7 times so far, so
that's fair. He's played 2 really good defensive fronts.
Yeah, we will be happy with 1 sack. I think the point you're making, though, is Aaron Rodgers. Well, he's a guy who holds on to the football for quite a while, and usually he's holding on to the ball because he can throw it anywhere on the field and make a play.
Yeah, he also throws it away a lot. He holds on to it for a long time and then kind of extends the play and then throws it out of bounds, which I'm fine with. Eventually, though, this thing's going to even out because they're too good. It's going to even out, and they're going to have a game with a ton of turnovers and a ton of sacks.
Yeah, I don't think it's coming against the Packers because the Packers also have a really good pass rush right now.
They do.
Their defensive front is playing well, and their secondary is playing well.
Yeah, and we need to talk about the elephant in the room.
What is that?
Garrett Bolles.
Oh yeah, we haven't even talked about Garrett Bolles. Yeah. Garrett holds. Yeah, and
Garrett holds.
He's gonna have the toughest matchup of the season right now with Preston Smith and Zadarius Smith. They're getting interior pressure with that defense.
A little harder.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, Bolles was on. We kind of talked about this in the recap, but part of Bolles' strategy sort of works because on that last drive, Khalil Mack had to come out of the game twice, I think, to catch his breath.
Because he twisted his neck like 90 degrees in the wrong direction.
Bolles was holding him the whole time.
Yeah.
But Bolles
strangling him.
Yeah.
He couldn't breathe, yeah.
Bolles also said he didn't realize he didn't think he was doing anything wrong. And Elway called him out for that. And Emmanuel Sanders had to say Bolles has to realize he's not doing the right thing. So honestly, if Jawan James was healthy this week, I think they would put Elijah Wilkinson in Bolles' spot because
I think you're right, yeah.
He's played pretty good filling in for the guy the Broncos gave a ton of money to. So that's something maybe that's not getting discussed a lot either.
Yeah, and it's not the problem is not that Garrett Bolles is addicted to holding. It's that he's getting his feet are slow. He's getting into a bad set with pass protection. Although some of them came in the run game too, and they wiped out a 19-yard run by Phillip Lindsay. That's been one of his problems.
Yeah.
And he's no idea how to hide the fact that he's holding because whenever he holds, he doesn't let go at any point. He tackles the player to the ground. He makes it abundantly clear that he's holding.
Yeah, when Bolles gets beat, he just tackles his guy.
Yeah. I mean, the dude, he doesn't get it. He really doesn't get it.
No, I've never seen a player not get it as much as Bolles.
Yeah.
I think the Broncos are going to turn it around. I just think it's going to have to happen after this game.
I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna take the Broncos.
And I will
I
wait
don't
to
feel
make
good about it.
I'll make my official prediction tomorrow.
Yeah, someone's got to pick them on this show.
All right,
And I picked
Panthers.
them already 2 times already, so why not?
There you go. Panthers, Cardinals. Panthers, Cardinals. I think the Panthers are favored 2.5 points. I wrote CAR, which could be Cardinals, could be Carolina. I don't know.
Should they be favored? I don't know.
Let me double check that.
I mean, we got Kyle Allen playing for Cam Newton. Kyle Allen played pretty well against the Saints in the last game of the year last season. I don't know how much that means because they're resting their starters, but it means he's got a little bit of experience. The Cardinals they've played both of their opponents pretty tough, and despite not having a win, I think they've played a lot better than they should have. And they probably should have won at least one of those games. They kind of gave up some big key plays against the Ravens. And another thing that's interesting is Cliff Kingsbury has been really, really conservative in the red zone. And I think last week he settled for something like 3 field goals inside the 5-yard line when they were down. It was some stat like that. They kicked 3 really, really short field goals. And you have to wonder if at this point in the season, knowing they need to get a win to stay relevant in the playoff picture, we start going for those kind of plays. Yeah,
with some cojones.
Because that's kind of what everybody expected, right, from a college coach.
Yeah,
going straight to the NFL.
I think it takes a little bit to build your confidence to do those sort of things.
Right.
And the Cardinals are favored, not the Panthers. So that's what happens when I write Carr.
Yeah, so we've got Riverboat Ron against
I guess
call Cliff Kingsbury.
Unlike the Lions, the Cardinals have yet to get their win.
Yes.
Yeah, like you were saying, Kyle Allen, you can't get a read on him because his one game was against the Saints resting their starters. So I like Arizona actually.
Kyle, yeah, I think I'm taking the Cardinals too. But
even if Cam plays, which it doesn't look like he will, his injury is going to be an issue. So
it will. It was last week. It was a huge issue against the Buccaneers.
Yeah,
it's been inaccurate for a while. I just want to say about Kyle Allen. He got an autographed picture from Roger Staubach when he was a kid, and you know what he did? He sent Roger Staubach an autographed picture back, which I think is the coolest thing you can do.
Yeah, that's pretty badass.
Yeah, for a kid.
Maybe Kyle Allen is an MVP.
He's got the confidence. He's got what it takes.
Confidence. Just Cliff Kingsbury needs a little bit of that Kyle Allen confidence.
Exactly.
Okay, so we both take Arizona. Then you got Giants at the Buccaneers. This game would be very uninteresting, but Daniel Jones is going to get his first start. So
that might make it semi-watchable. The Buccaneers, fun. By the way, you've got to 0-2. They're 1-1.
Oh, that's right. My bad.
Yeah, they won a very ugly game against Carolina.
Yeah, I think Tampa Bay wins at home, but I'm going to be rooting for the Giants. I'm going to be rooting for Daniel Jones to play well, even though the Giants, like most bad teams, their problems run deeper than just the quarterback.
Right, yeah. I think they can become a decent offensive unit with Daniel Jones, just because I think Daniel Jones gives them the option to do stuff like run pass options, a little bit of read options, because he's a very fast quarterback. He's not built like a running quarterback, but he's got some speed.
He's like he's kind of like Alex Smith, right?
A little bit. I think
where you don't think he's going to be able to move, but he's way more mobile than Eli was.
He could rip off like a 30-yarder without a problem if he's given the space. I think the only problem for him so far is he's played really, really well. He's been fumbling the ball in the preseason and in that brief stint that he got against the Cowboys in Week 1. So that's something to watch out for with Shaq Barrett coming off the edge.
Oh, yeah. Defensive Player of the Week, too, Shaq Barrett.
Right. So that's something to keep an eye on.
And I think Sterling Shepard's in concussion protocol or something. So
yeah, so he's going to be throwing to Cody Latimer and Benny Fowler.
And I believe Latimer got banged up in that game too. So lots got to happen for the Giants to start winning. But I think it was the right move to start Daniel Jones. I agree. Don't think he's going to get a win this week.
I don't either. I'm taking the Bucs. Although it is interesting how quickly the narrative changed on Daniel Jones from being like a joke of a pick at number 6 to playing really, really well in the preseason to now like it's not even brought up anymore that he was a huge reach.
No, I mean, good for David Gettleman, I guess.
Well, yeah, if this works.
I mean, I think more than whether or not he's good or bad, it's you took him at 6, so might as well start playing the guy. Yeah. You could always debate leaving a guy on the sideline to learn. I don't know where – like I would like to see evidence of that actually being extremely beneficial because I feel like it's going to be different for every single person.
I agree. I think it's a case-by-case scenario.
Like some guys might benefit from it, but there's a lot of guys who aren't going to get any better unless they're just out there playing. And I have no idea what guy Daniel Jones is in like relation to that. So I say just fucking throw him to the Wolves.
Let's find out.
And Tampa Bay's not even like Wolves. They're more like Foxes. Throw them to the Foxes.
Yeah, like Coyotes.
Yeah, there you go. A little bit better than Foxes. All right, Saints at Seahawks. Seahawks are favored by 4. The Saints lose last week to the Rams and Drew Brees. His thumb surgery went perfectly, Will. So my question for you is, what's a perfect surgery, really?
I mean, I guess the perfect surgery is just not having to get it in the first place.
Yeah. The perfect surgery is the surgery is so good that you don't even need any time to recuperate.
Right, yeah. Like if it was actually perfect, he'd be playing in this game.
Yeah. What perfect
Clearly
I think
it wasn't perfect.
No, what perfect I think means is they said he could be back as early as 6 weeks.
Or maybe perfect means they gave him a bionic thumb that was more powerful than his normal human thumb.
I would take a mechanical thumb.
Yeah. I don't know how that helps you necessarily playing quarterback, but maybe he'll never lose a fumble ever again.
No, you don't have to worry about throwing a wet ball.
An iron grip on the ball. Yeah. Why not, honestly? Is there any rules against having a bionic thumb?
No.
Didn't think so.
Not that I know of.
I'll take the Seahawks in that case because he does not have one. He's not playing.
I'm taking the Seahawks. I am excited to see what Sean Payton's going to do because there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks switching in and out of this game.
Yeah, I want to see how much they use Taysom Hill because
they're going to use –
they might need to.
If they used him a lot with Drew Brees, they're going to use a shit ton of Taysom Hill with Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, the only other question is because they signed JT Barrett, I think, to the active roster, but he probably won't be active during the game.
Right.
Because like Teddy Bridgewater's not exactly the picture of health, and do you want your backup quarterback running routes like a wide receiver and carrying the ball a bunch when that could go poorly very quickly?
JT Barrett's athletic, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so that might be a better fit with Taysom Hill. Barrett-Hill combo.
I like it.
All right, then you got Texans, Chargers. Chargers favored by 3 at home. Trying to think here. I don't want to spend too much time on this game.
No, I don't either. The Texans have played 2 really, really close games.
Yeah.
So far. I think that's all we can really say about them. I think they deserve to be 1-1 because I don't think they necessarily deserve to win week 2, and they did deserve to win week 1.
Right.
And I think it's perfectly even.
I think both of these teams are like right there at being really good. And I just think the Texans have a better chance to actually be really good. So I'll go with Houston.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Houston too. Why does Phillip Rivers, every time he throws a game-ending pick, which seems to be like 5 times a season, why does he never get any kind of flack for it?
I don't know. That's an uncharacteristic Phillip Rivers. No, it's not.
No, it happens fucking every week.
No, it is not.
Yeah.
Old Rivers.
That was basically 2014 through 2017. That was a weekly occurrence, was him driving down to either take the lead or tie the game and throwing a pick.
Yeah. It's why he's not a Hall of Famer. Ooh.
I don't think so either, honestly.
Okay, Steelers.
The Hall of Very Good.
Yeah, Steelers, 49ers. 49ers, 6.5-point faves. Steelers, of course, will be starting Mason Rudolph. Minka Fitzpatrick gets to play in that shitty Steelers defense. And the 49ers look pretty damn good.
Give me the Steelers, and that's my lock of the week.
Okay, interesting.
I'm taking the Steelers. Yeah, I think they're backed into a corner. I think Mason Rudolph's pretty good.
I thought he looked very good when he came in for Big Ben.
That screen pass where he faked throwing it on the ground a couple times. That took some serious composure. Like, imagine giving up on a play that you know is going to keep going, like with the guys running at you. That was pretty cool. That was one of the more creative plays I've ever seen. And they obviously they addressed one of their bigger weaknesses by trading for Minka Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, I called the Steelers defense shitty because they haven't been good, but I think they will be good, or at least solid. And I think Mason Rudolph's going to give that offense more than Roethlisberger has this season. But I also like the way San Francisco's been running the ball down teams' throats with 4 different running backs so far. And I think San Francisco's defense is actually pretty good. They're third in the amount of points they've given up per game. They're getting pressure. And I'm going to pick the 49ers to go 3-0.
Okay, I'm taking the Steelers. Like I said, I already locked it up.
But I think Mason Rudolph's going to never let Ben Roethlisberger start again for the Steelers.
Wow. I think they're just a much more likable team now without Antonio Brown and Ben Roethlisberger. Although,
they are.
I will say they're really struggling at receiver right now.
Yeah, outside of Juju.
I mean, Juju hasn't really been that good.
No, he
got that flea flicker last week, and that was about it. James Conner hasn't played very well either.
And Dante Moncrief?
Yeah, actively sabotaging the team.
He's dropped some big balls, and the pass to him from Mason Rudolph just goes through his hands. So, they have some receiver problems. I think if your quarterback starts to play better, things will open up a little bit for Juju. James Washington still seems like they might have missed with that pick. But
yeah, maybe.
Rams, Browns, Sunday Night Football.
So like I said here, this could be a really good game, or it could be one of the worst games of the Sunday Night Football schedule. Although they've already got competition with Week 1, Steelers, Patriots. But I am happy for Cleveland that, although I don't know if they earned it, they got a home Sunday Night Football game for probably the first time in a billion years.
They've earned it by matter of never earning it for so long.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. I think the Rams have been kind of just coasting the first 2 weeks, and they're still 2-0, which is impressive.
Yeah, they're a good football team.
And eventually they'll put it together. And
they're a really good football team.
They'll start hitting
a good coach.
They're going to clicking eventually on offense.
Yeah, I think Cleveland is going to lose. So they get to enjoy that win for 1 week.
Yeah.
They're a team they've got a lot that they're figuring out. New head coach.
They do.
Baker was good last year, but he's got a lot to learn in terms of how to play as an NFL quarterback. And it takes time to build chemistry with another new receiver in the offense. I think they need to rely on Nick Chubb more.
They do. Yeah, they're not getting Kareem Hunt back for like a half of a season now. I think it's week 10. So they got to just give the ball to Chubb early and often, run play action against this team, and just try to keep the Rams on the sideline the Rams offense on the sideline for as long as they can, because I think that's the only way they have a shot in this game.
Yeah. Like you said, I totally agree. It might be a really good game, but it
has the potential to be a good game.
The Rams could fucking smoke them too.
They could. Aaron Donald's probably going to do horrible things to that offensive line.
He's so tough.
Yeah.
Like, he had a back injury in that last game and just returned from it. Like,
back injuries suck.
For that position too.
Yeah, because you're in a 3-point stance every single play.
You're using leverage and
right.
Every move you do requires your core and back to be strong. He's been limited in practice this week, but I imagine he's going to play.
Yeah, we know he's going to play.
Beast. Yeah. Okay. Monday Night Football, last game. Bears, Washington Potatoes.
Can't we just flex Monday Night Football out already?
Yeah, because it's like, even if Chicago is actually a good team, they're going to be
they're not
a boring
very fun team to watch.
No, they're not going to be a fun team to watch, because they've got to be – their defense is what's going to win them games. And their offense looked not good at all last week.
No.
They're not getting Tariq Cohen involved, or they're not finding creative ways to get Tariq Cohen the ball. I don't know, man.
The one touchdown they scored this season has been the most boring, uninteresting, borderline not a touchdown.
Was that against Denver? It
was like that David Montgomery play.
Was that third down?
Yeah. It
was third down on the goal line, and he barely got the ball to break the plane.
He reached over.
Yeah.
The fact that they called it a touchdown on the field was the only reason that it was a touchdown.
Yeah, and Trubisky, man, he's looked bad this season.
He's looked terrible, yeah.
Because even when he had chances in the Broncos game, he missed. Like,
he did.
The Bears could have looked a lot better in that game if Trubisky just connected on a couple open passes.
Their only touchdown drive, they didn't let him throw the ball. Which, I mean, what does that tell you? Yeah. The only time they scored a touchdown was in spite of him.
And now that we've said that, he's going to rush for 80 yards in this game and throw for 2 touchdowns.
I mean, I'll take my chances there.
Case Keenum's still starting for Washington?
He's still starting. He hasn't looked bad.
No. He looked good week 1. He looked okay week 2.
Yeah.
Might look bad week 3, and week 4 might be Haskins' time.
Could be, yeah.
If there's a defense he's going to look bad against, it might be the Bears.
Probably this one. Washington's rookie wide receiver, McLaurin, has looked really, really good through the games. He could be a player to watch out for, definitely. But I don't see it. I don't see it with Washington yet.
No, I mean, their team, Chicago. I just feel like they're in transition.
Right.
Just waiting. All right. Those are all the games. Oh, wait. Who am I? I'm going to take – I'll take –
Do it.
Take the Washingtons.
He did it.
And my definitely not lock of the week.
He's locking it up.
Yeah, I'm going to take Washington. Fuck it. I don't care.
Locking it up.
And we both picked the Rams. Okay. So that is going to be on @yaboy Big TP to tell us how we do next week.
Yeah. Eventually we'll find a way to repay him.
Yeah. And got some
not with money. Heavens no.
No.
Yeah, but maybe who knows?
With love.
Yeah,
our
or
hearts.
a nice beating golf shirt, perhaps.
Oh, we could swing that.
Yeah.
There's going to be some changes coming to the podcast that will be rolling out next week. So stay tuned for that.
Stay very, very tuned.
And you made it. You made it to the end.
Yeah.
Good God.